गुड मॉर्निंग प्रीति जी।
गुड मॉर्निंग। मैं एक बार अपना बैकग्राउंड चेंज कर लूं। Are we ready?
Yes, we are. We are live.
Okay. Greetings, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to week 7, most awaiting week. And we are ready to start a new chapter today, correcting thoughts. Beautiful, beautiful chapter. And we are going to start today. So let us all just be here for a moment. Close your eyes, integrate, connect with the energies of Babaji to receive the chapter wisdom, which is very much part of us. So just close your eyes with a slow, long, deep breath in. Come to this present moment with some few deep breaths in and out. Coming to the present moment. Let us become one with the breath, the mind, the body, the heart, all connected. Feel your heart center. Feel that soothing pulsation. Become more receptive today to learn the chapter from Babaji on correcting thoughts. We are receiving his light from his heart center. What Babaji is trying to say in this chapter, let us forget all our past knowledge. Just be empty to receive. With this little mind about the creation, about God, which we really know in our heart space. We feel it, we trust it. Another slow, long, deep breath in and out. Just open your eyes as you are ready. Welcome back. Thank you. And anybody wants to read the chapter today? You can raise your hand.
Anna is going to read. So just share the PDF.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Alicia, you can explain to yourself.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay. The camera is still off.
Okay. We are all set. Let's start.
Start reading?
Yes. Your volume sound is a little bit low. If you can just
Okay, I'll
keep your mic closer to your mouth.
yeah. Now am I audible better?
Yes. Better.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you. 7th week. Correcting thoughts. Anything that is created begins with a thought. The thought of something really is that something, only at the most refined vibration. Everything in the universe began with God's thought about creation. You are, in the most elementary sense, a thought of God. Rather, you are a part of that marvelous, perfect thought that created all. Being a part of that thought, you are also the whole. God's thought that gave rise to creation is indivisible. His one thought contains the entire blueprint for the cosmos and every single atom and soul.
Okay,
Furthermore,
let's pause here. So this far, one very important concept has been presented to us. Everything begins with a thought. This concept, whether it's my thought, your thought, or God's thought. So what Babaji is explaining here is that taking an example from our own real life, how do we produce something? Let's say you want to cook something today, a particular recipe you want to cook today. First you think about that, okay, I want to prepare idlis or I want to prepare dosa, whatever, right? You have a thought about it first, and then you implement that thought through your actions, and you create something, right? So that finally that dish, when it is created and presented at your table, is the product of your thought. And likewise, now think about this entire universe which has already been created or is in existence. This entire universe is God's thought, one thought of God. This is what he's trying to explain. And what he's saying is, in the most elementary sense, a thought of God is what we are. We, all of us, are part of that one single thought, right? And being part of that thought, you are also the whole. Because you are part of the thought, you are also integrated, right? We are integral part of that one thought called universe. And being part of that thought, we are also the whole. I mean, it's something like my finger can say, I am Shailesh, because this finger is a part of Shailesh, the body, right? So God's thought that gave rise to creation is indivisible. This is the concept. That's why we are all integrated as one. That thought is indivisible. Your own thought, think about one of your thoughts, any one of your thoughts. Say a thought about, once again, let's go back to preparing a dish. That thought you can't subdivide into parts, right? This is just one thought. Thinking about this will create so much thing in your head. If you just give us a little thought, well, okay, is my thought divisible? Can I divide it? You won't be able to. It doesn't have parts. Your thought just appears, right? That's how this universe appeared. So his one thought contains the entire blueprint for the cosmos. Entire blueprint. He's calling it a blueprint now. Thought has a blueprint. Blueprint means the concept, right? A clear concept. That is what is there in the thought. And so God's one thought has got the clear concept of the entire cosmos and every single atom and soul. So when he says cosmos, that includes every single atom, which means the matter, and every soul. Everything is included, right? We all understand ourselves as souls experiencing the body, right? So that's exactly what he's saying. So every soul and every atom. So consciousness and matter. everything is included in that one thought, right? So think about it. You will feel it very funny to conceive this whole thing, that I am living in the mind of God. Thoughts are in the mind, right? So I am living in the mind of God. I am no different from God anymore, right? In the mind of God, there is everything. That's what he's trying to explain. So allow this thought to be digested slowly and gradually. Allow this thinking to be digested, and then lot of revelations will come from within. So take it at a step, as a step by step, slowly and gradually. Okay, let's read further.
Furthermore, God is not separate from his thought any more than you are from your thoughts. That is why you are one with God. There is no other logical way to understand this. God is very much in tune with, one with, the thought that created us. You are really that thought in your most refined state. So you are one with God. Because we are the one thought that created everything, we can know everything about that thought. We are not just a separate aspect of that thought. No, we were created to know everything contained in God's thought that created everything.
Okay, let's pause here. So now he's saying, how do you know that you are one with God? That's what he has explained in that paragraph, right? God, like if you think about your own thought, you know that your thought and you are just one. You are not separate from your own thought. And likewise, God is not separate from God's own thought, right? That's how integrated it is. So God, his thought, and inside his thought, we and our thoughts, right? This is all, you can say, encapsulated inside each other, one level, one level, one level at a time. So, uh, because we are the one thought that God created everything with, right? We can know everything about that thought. This is a beautiful revelation. Now, within that thought, whatever God had thought, we can know about all that information. That means you can know everything about the entire cosmos by just being part of that thought, right? So all of us can have the same knowledge that the God has in that one thought. Outside that one thought of God, what God is, we do not know. But we know about that one thought which we are part of. And we, each one of us, know everything about that thought. Every information in that one thought is available to us, right? Um, what he's saying, we are not just a separate aspect of thought. We were created to know everything contained in God's thought that created everything. So that was the intention as well. Each part of God's thought was supposed to know about the entire thought. Now, anytime in future, whenever now you think about, well, I do not know about this thing, remember this information. You know everything. You just have to intend to access that knowledge. When you intend to access that knowledge as your own, I am part of God's thought and I have access to every part of that knowledge. Once you begin to claim, you will have that knowledge. Scientific experiments have been conducted in the past by scientists in Russia. They were able to prove that one can access the knowledge which was not known to the person so far. So there was one person in Russia who then requested in whatever I would say meditative form this person requested to have the knowledge of music that Bach possessed in his time, Bach's knowledge. And that Bach's music knowledge was, this guy had nothing, no knowledge of music at all. And he, in meditation, asked for access to that knowledge. And this guy started playing music exactly just like Bach. So think about it. That knowledge or that skill that is existing in the universe is also our skill and knowledge as well. Each one of us can have everything. But when we come into a specific form, like Shailesh, for example, we have to create boundaries where Shailesh has to exist in a certain characteristic to experience certain things, right? So I cannot experience everyone's experience. That's why I limit my knowledge to what I am supposed to experience in life. That is exactly the reason why we kind of separate ourselves out, because we want to focus on a specific experience of life. Okay, but knowing that all the knowledge is accessible to me is a very important thing. We should never feel less. I am not really less. I've only decided that I will open this page of the book and I will read only this page of the book in this lifetime, right? That's how the whole thing is. Okay, let's go further.
That means you can choose to think about any aspect of God's thought you wish. It is just like tuning into a radio station. You tune into any knowledge about creation. One thing absolutely certain about God's thought is that it embodies all of God's qualities. You are one of God's thought and you embody all of God's qualities, and so does every other aspect of God's thought. When you tune into some aspect of God's thought, you can be 100% certain to experience love, happiness, joy, bliss, truth, pure intelligence, peace, gentleness, unboundedness, energy, abundance, and non judgment, to name only a few. This is your experience that God planned in His thought when He created you.
Okay, so like I was mentioning, we have access to everything, and what is absolutely certain that we, being part of God's thought, we embody all of the God's qualities because we are part of God's thought. So God's thought has all the God's qualities automatically, right? And because we are part of that thought, each one of us embodies. He's saying embodies. That means we possess, we have it already, all those qualities that the God has. And then, like I was saying, I want to read this page of the book today, so I focus only on one page. So what that's what again he's mentioning here, that when you tune into some aspect of God's thought, so God's thought, there's one thought, now you tune into one aspect of that thought, right? And you will have 100% of that experience. So what are those things that we are tuning into? We can experience love, happiness, joy, bliss, truth, pure intelligence, peace, gentleness, unboundedness, unboundedness, and energy. Unboundedness is like I have no limits, right? No boundaries. So which is like being infinite. And then energy, abundance, and non-judgment, to name only a few. So these are the qualities of God that he's saying that we all can tune into. So once again, it is up to us we can decide to tune into these qualities. And remember, to date, we did not decide to tune into most of these qualities, right? That's why we are where we are today. But now, becoming aware of this particular aspect, if we truly want to, we can tune into each one of these qualities, or maybe few of these, whatever each one of us wants, we can become 100% there. We can become that quality, right? So this is your experience that God planned. So what you are having right now, all these qualities that we are defining here, God's qualities, God's plan included all these qualities for us, for each one of us, right? In his thought, when he created us. So when he created, he had a plan for each one of us, and that's what we are experiencing today. That's who we become, right? All my qualities. So in God's thought, there is a character called Shailesh, and all the qualities that Shailesh possesses today were already part of that plan the God had about Shailesh. And God planned those qualities, and Shailesh is experiencing those qualities. So think about it. God's thought is being experienced by Shailesh, and God is experiencing these qualities through Shailesh. Experience is actually happening through Shailesh. So each one of you is that unique part of God's thought, and you are experiencing what God had planned, right? Isn't it such a beautiful thing to be to really understand that what I am experiencing is for the God? That's how we can enjoy each part of this experience of what we call his life. This is just what God planned for each one of us, right? Okay, let's see.
Remember, all of creation begins with a thought. You are a creator because you are made in the image of God, and He is indisputably a creator. You create. Your creations also begin with a thought. Then you experience what you create. If you begin with some aspect of God's thought that created the cosmos, you will have a creation just like God's creation. Your creation can then only give you the experience of God's qualities. Only those qualities are inherent in his thought. No other qualities are there. His thought cannot manifest what it doesn't have. This is a foolproof method for living life in heaven.
Anna,
Let's
just
pause.
yeah.
Let's pause here. Yeah. Okay. So, in this paragraph here, what he's saying is that remember, all of creation begins with a thought, and you are a creator because you are made in the image of God, right? And he is indisputably a creator. So a creator's imagination also inherits the quality of being a creator. So, like God has created what we are experiencing, we can also create. We also create, right? And our creation begins with a thought again. So, our thoughts are what actually getting created around us. All that is around us is created from our thought. This is what he is trying to bring us to understand. Then you experience what you create, right? So this is one part. Then what he's saying, if you begin with some aspect of God's thought that created the cosmos, you will have a creation just like God's creation, right? So if we start with a God's thought, the important part is we are part of the God's thought, right? Now, if we start with the same thought as God had, we will create the same cosmos that God created. and then we will experience all that God is experiencing. Your creation can then only give you the experience of God's qualities, right? And then, funny thing is, only those qualities are inherent and in his thought. God's qualities we just read a little bit above, right? They are the ones which are inherent in his thought, and no other qualities are there. His thought cannot manifest what it doesn't have. So God's thought cannot manifest anything which is outside his thought. Very important to understand. So anything that is manifest and we experience is part of God's thought, nothing from outside. So we cannot say that, oh, God doesn't want to, God doesn't like this thing to happen. It is all inclusive. Whatever we call as not good is also part of the same very thought of God.
But here, if you see, right, this God qualities will bring you experience of love, happiness. These are all the qualities. And then this is your experience that God planned. So God planned us with these experiences to have, right?
Yeah.
And then He created us as a creator. In this paragraph says He created us uh, like Himself in His thought. He created us a creator, right? And then He says that there is one line, right? Then you experience what you create. So you start creating, and your creation also begins with a start. And then it says, then you experience what you create. Right here,
Yeah.
he is also saying that the God created the universe, and he is also experiencing what he created. Right? He's saying you are also a creator. You create your life and you experience, and I created this universe, and I am also experiencing what I created. Right?
Yeah.
And also there's a plan that in the God's plan, we are here to experience all this which we have forgotten.
Right.
Can we proceed now here?
Yes. Yeah.
This is a foolproof method for living in heaven. Then to err is not human. Then life is not a struggle. Then all the forces of nature come to your aid as you experience only God's qualities. A glance around the world indicates that this is not happening. What went wrong? Even your own life appears to include some struggle, some errors, some pain. What went wrong? Nothing went
Okay.
wrong.
Just pause. Yeah.
Just pause here. So what is a very obvious question each one of us can have in our mind, right? Because God's qualities, as we saw, if we are creating with those qualities that we have inherited from God, then why do we have this kind of actual scenario that we are seeing around us? In real practical life, what are we seeing? All kinds of difficult experiences. Life is such, to us, by experience, life is a struggle. But then he's saying, um, even your own life appears to include some struggle, some errors, some pain. So what went wrong? Let us now see what actually went wrong.
Nothing went wrong. Even your seeming errors, struggles, and pain point to your divinity and perfection. Remember, you are made in the image of God. God is sovereign. He created you with His thought, and so are you sovereign. Another way of saying you have free will. You are also a creator in God's image, and you create with your thoughts.
Okay, let's pause here. Okay, so what he's saying, nothing has gone wrong really. The struggles that we experience or the difficulties that we experience is again part of our thought, right? God gave us what we call as free will. God created us with the same qualities as God and gave the free will as well. Free will is to choose, right? Free will gives us the authority to choose. And because of that choice that we have received, God doesn't interfere with it because He has given us the freedom. You are free to choose what you want. Okay? So He gave us all His qualities and also the freedom to use them in the way we want. And then in His thought, though, He had a imagination that I want to experience things like this character called Shailesh. Okay, and Shailesh has got absence. I wouldn't say absence, has limited himself to only a certain qualities. And then through that, he wants to experience a certain type of life. And now, through Shailesh, he's experiencing all those things which are good qualities of Shailesh and also not so good qualities of Shailesh. Now, not so good qualities are also part of, in duality, they are actually part of one total. When there is one total thing, you can divide it into two parts, good and bad. Everything has both aspects. Think of a coin. Coin has two sides always, right? In duality, everything has two aspects. Everything. And so, as one of the characters in his thought, I have also two aspects. Right? But this totality, the total Shailesh, is a character that his thought has, and he is experiencing, well, when I have this combination of good and bad, what does it feel like? How does this life feel like? And that's what he's trying to experience. And so each one of us has been given a unique package of good and bad. Different proportions, right? And in those proportions, we create. He is given the right to create also. Now, from that place of a certain balance of good and bad, Shailesh is actually creating experience, creating life and experiencing the life. And that experience, God is able to experience directly because this is in God's thought. So, think about it, like supposing you want to write a story or create a movie. Okay, in your movie, you have imagined a character. And what is that character going to be like? You have certain thoughts about that character. Well, okay, this character in his younger days would be like this, would be very violent in his behavior, very reactive to everything. And then this character at some point in his life is going to meet certain situation and will turn around and will become a very loving person. All that story you can build up in your mind. And these are all characteristics you are building, or the qualities you are building, a combination of goods and bads for the character. Now, when that movie is created, whoever is acting in that movie, let's say you hire Amitabh Bachchan to do that role. Okay. Now, when Amitabh Bachchan is doing that role, think of what he is going through. He will actually experience all the emotions. You, when you are watching, will experience in reality all those emotions. You are not going through physical experience, but you are still experiencing through the mind everything that character goes through, right? And you do it in a 2 hours or 3 hours of movie. You experience entire lifetime of that character, right? Likewise, God is experiencing each one of us as one of the characters in his movie, that one thought. Okay, so this is what it is. Let's go further.
God's thought, which you are one with, is available for you. You can choose to tune into that thought. That is your choice. It is your free will to use his thought for your creations. Or you can choose to think a thought of your very own. Then your creation will have the qualities you assign to it.
Okay, so this is pretty much what I just explained. So you can choose. You can choose to just copy all the qualities of God, and I want to be in that mode only. I will remain just in like the original 100% God. That's your choice. You can do it. But you can also choose to be a little less God and become Shailesh, the original one. Right? Whoever, what that your originality that God's thought wanted, you can choose to be that. Which is my own thought. My own thought, the thought that Shailesh is getting are actually, this is the thought that God had planned as Shailesh. And I'm living that, right? I'm living, creating and experiencing my own creation. And I still have the choice to change it. So as Shailesh is learning through the life, Shailesh can change the thought and decide to associate with certain set of qualities of God and not associated with other set of those qualities, other part of those qualities. This is choice that Shailesh makes on a day-to-day basis. Right? And each one of us is doing exactly the same. Knowingly or unknowingly, we are choosing, we are making choices. And we are making choice. Think about it, like in your childhood, you were always told, don't lie. Always speak the truth. Right? How many of us do that? We don't. I am very truly telling you, I do lie at times. Right? Now, this is a choice I am making. I know that the God's quality is to speak the truth. Right? But I am deliberately, initially it was deliberate, but then it became a pattern and a habit. Right? So I imbibed some of those, my qualities, my thoughts of not speaking the truth, and it became my quality. And I'm living, I'm creating my experiences through that quality and learning from there that when you do not speak the truth, what you create around you and what experiences it creates for you. That's the beautiful thing here. So God has given us total freedom. You have the free will, do what you want. Okay.
Many times you have chosen your own thoughts and created a miserable experience. That doesn't mean you are miserable. That's impossible. You can't change the perfection you are. However, as a creator, you can create and experience what appears less than perfect. Only when you start with God's thought can you be assured of perfection and all those other wonderful qualities.
Yes. So basically, when we choose to be imperfect, unknowingly or knowingly, we choose to be imperfect and experience things, right? So what he's saying is that it is impossible that you are imperfect though. We only experience imperfection, but we are not imperfect. Think of it like this. In that role that you have given to Amitabh Bachchan in your story, Amitabh Bachchan doesn't change from being Amitabh Bachchan. He remains Amitabh Bachchan, but he is acting in that role and experiencing that role of being less or different. Some character called Shailesh or whoever, right? That is an experience. It doesn't change him as a person though, right? Amitabh Bachchan still remains 100% Amitabh Bachchan. Doesn't change. That perfection doesn't change. So our perfection as being in the image of God doesn't change ever. We only choose to experience something different using our thought, right? That's what important. It's very, very important thing to understand. This is something you should spend some time in digesting this thought that my perfection will never change. I will still remain perfect, but I will experience imperfection by using certain thoughts. Okay, so you can only, when you start with God's thought, can you be assured of perfection. So if you want to return back to your perfection, you will have to start with God's thought, right? So change your thought to God's thought and you return back to perfection anytime you want. That doesn't change ever, right? So your default still remains that. Okay.
In a very real sense, the world you create by your own thoughts is an illusion. It is not the truth. Truth has permanence. Truth never changes. Truth describes the thought of God that created us and the cosmos. That thought is truth. That thought tells of happiness, never sadness. It tells of bliss and joy, never despair. It tells of intelligence, never mistakes. It reveals abundance, never poverty. It brings infinite energy, never weakness. It is a hallmark of peace, never turmoil. This truth is simply God's thought that created the universe.
Right. So, for the first time in the book, he is now emphasizing on truth. You read just above my head, a course on truth. This is a course on truth, and the first time he is now expressing that thing, that what is the truth? The truth is never impermanent. The truth has permanence to it. It doesn't change, right? And here he is now revealing the truth, right? The truth describes the thought of God. That is the definition. The truth describes the thought of God that created us and the universe. That thought is truth. That thought tells of happiness, not sadness, never. And likewise, all these qualities, right? It talks of bliss and joy, never despair. It tells of intelligence, never mistakes, right? It reveals abundance, never poverty. It brings infinite energy, never weakness. It is the hallmark of peace, never turmoil. Each one of these things, please, when you are, after this session, when you have some time, pick up these very lines and make a note of these somewhere, right? Write down with your own hand. Important thing is to write with your own hands. Read from here, write with your own hands these very lines where you are making clear in your mind as to what is the truth. The truth is simply happiness, joy, bliss, right? Intelligence, abundance, infinite energy, and peace. This is truth, right? Make note of these things, that this is the original me. The original me has all these qualities, and the way I am living this life is a subset of these qualities. I am living one aspect of these qualities only, right? And it is up to me to change my thought. If I want to create the cosmos the way God created, I have to have God's thought. Okay.
Here, one line, it says the very first line, in the very real sense, the world you create by your own thought is an illusion, right? It means the
Yes.
world is already created in the image of God. But what you are playing already, that you say it is less than perfect, it is your illusion because it disappears. In one lifetime, you experience poverty, disease, misery. In other lifetime, you enjoy the other side of it, right? So, but he's saying that what you create is an illusion by your thought. Whatever you create is an illusion. What is truth is and God's thought. What is truth is the whole universe, which is created in God's thought, and that brings the experience of happiness, joy, abundance, intelligence, infinite energy, and peace. This is a
Correct.
beautiful
Thank you.
line.
Thank you. Very good. This is exactly what the message is in this paragraph, right? That impermanence part is only it's the illusion, because it is an illusion, it's impermanent. The truth is already created in God's thought. So God's thought is already permanent. That is the truth, right? That is the truth. Now, within that truth, we are living illusion. Every time we live an illusion, it is born and dies. It is born and dies, right? That's why it is called illusion. Why? Because it is impermanent. It doesn't. It's like a bubble.
Mhm.
We experience and we vanish. We experience and we vanish, like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
The choice is yours. You can choose to create with God's thought or make up of your own. God would have it no other way. You are created sovereign. You are created with a free will. You are created a creator. The fact you do create proves your divinity, even if you choose to create hell.
Right. So, even if you choose to create hell, you are still divine. This is called free will. God has given that free will. You choose. If you want to choose to create a hell, do it. Right? This is called free will. God has given that to us, and God has made us a creator also, like Himself. Right? God is a creator, and He made us also creators. We are all creators just like God, and we have the free will to create whatever we want to do. Right? We can make up our own. God would have it no other way. He just lets us do it. And you are created sovereign. Understand the word sovereign. Sovereign, the meaning of the word, the way I have interpreted the word, is that everything in creation is for me. That's when I become sovereign. Everything in this cosmos exists for me. Right? I don't own it though. Everything is for me. I can choose to use it the way I want to use. That choice remains with me. What part of it I want to use and how I want to use is my free will. But I have access to everything. And this was explained right in the beginning of this chapter, because we are all part of one thought. So we have access to everything. It's made for us because it's all part of the thought which created me. Okay, so very important thing, that the concept of sovereign means that I am actually abundant from that point of view. Everything is available to me, and and we all have been doing it also, right? We have been felling trees and creating concrete jungles and doing whatever. It's all our creation. We are creating hell because we want to create hell. But we are using everything that's available, and God doesn't object to it. Right? It's all God's creation, which is permanent. That permanence of God's creation cannot be changed by us. We are only creating an illusion of bringing a change through our thought. That permanence will never change. You fell a tree, two more will be born tomorrow. Right? This is nature. That's how God's creation is. God's creation will always be able to remain in existence the way it was originally created. We will, though, because I want to experience a big piece of land without trees, I can experience it by my manifestation. But that is only in illusion, in the sense that it is not permanent. You leave that piece of land and it will regrow into trees automatically. Okay, so that is the permanence part of it. So, understanding this is very important, that how the God's creation is permanent and how my creation is an illusion. These are two separate aspects. Okay.
Today, you begin to change the nature of your creations. You change your creations to be exactly like God's thought. Your creation, your life, and your experiences are to have only God's qualities.
Right. So today, having understood this entire thing now, that what I create is an illusion because of the very reason that it is not created from God's qualities. So today, once having understood that, today we can start creating from God's qualities. Right? Your creation, your life, and your experiences are to have only God's qualities. If there is someone here in the group right now who would not want happiness, joy, bliss, abundance, peace, all these things, if you don't want, you don't have to listen to this paragraph. But if you want any one of these, you will have to now start creating from God's qualities. Right? Those thoughts. Basically, creation is happening from thoughts. So every time we are being directed to our thoughts only, creating from that thought which is God's thought. Okay? Yeah.
You can
Next
pretty
paragraph.
much tell what your thoughts are by looking at your creations. If you're in debt and are afraid of the poor house, you have thoughts of lack and fail to realize the abundance in God's thought. If you're lonely and without anyone to share love with, you have thoughts that you don't deserve love or that it doesn't exist. That isn't true, you say, for you insist you want love and you want wealth.
Right. So this paragraph, what he's saying is that um, looking at your own situation, your circumstances, your um, life experiences, you can tell what kind of thoughts you've got, right? Your manifestation, your life is created from your thoughts, right? So when you look at the creation, you can say, well, okay, this is the kind of thoughts I have. So if you are experiencing financial problems, that means you are carrying thoughts of lack, thoughts of not having something, thoughts of loss, right? These are the thoughts which will give you a manifestation of financial difficulties. And let's say if you think that you don't get love from others, that thought is again that of lack, less. We are not tuned to the reality of God's thought. So this is exactly what he's saying, and he's going to now explain the answer to that. That isn't true. You say, you insist, you want love and you want wealth. You want love, you want wealth. You are saying, so you what you would say, well, that's not true, that I don't want wealth or I don't want love, but I'm experiencing lack of wealth and lack of love. Right? So that's going to be explained in the next paragraph. Okay,
Also,
let's go.
like here it is categorizing our experiences with our thoughts, right? But our thoughts are, what are our thoughts? They're actually our true nature. Thoughts is arising from our true nature, what we live in with, right? So he's saying that your life, your creation, your life, and your experiences are to have only God's qualities. But I feel fear, how can I create love? If I feel fear, how can I create love in my life? How can I, if I don't appreciate the abundance in nature, how can I create the uh, abundance in my life? So
Correct.
these are all coming from our own nature, own nature.
The thoughts that I have, for example, These thoughts are created from my life experiences that I have had, also from my belief system that I have created again in this lifetime. So my thoughts right now, current thoughts, are creation of my current life experiences and current life learnings, my belief system. That's where my thoughts come from. And those thoughts are completely not aligned with God's original thoughts. The thoughts with which God created us, that is not reflected in my thoughts. Right? That's where the difference is. So I am missing on God's quality of abundance. That's why I experience financial difficulties. Right? When I am missing on God's quality of love, I experience fear in my life. That's what he is explaining here. Okay.
Of course, you want them. You want the experience of all of God's qualities. You want them with a passion. That desire is ingrained as part of your very nature. It is how you were created. You cannot get rid of the desire for love, for abundance, for knowledge, for peace, for joy, etc. It is a part of you.
Right. Continue. Please continue reading because this is all connected. Yeah.
Nevertheless, there is some thought, probably even subconscious, that denies your creation the qualities you desire. How can I possibly change my thoughts if they are subconscious? You ask. Until now, it has been very difficult. Today, you start that process. Gradually, methodically, but certainly, you will change your thinking so that it will create with God's qualities. You will tune into God's thought and claim it as your own.
Right. So again, it's very clear now here that we all want the experience of God's qualities, right? And that is our true desire. Internally, we actually want that experience, and that's why we keep on wanting to have abundance, we want to have love. All these are our innate, intrinsic qualities, and that's what drives our desires, right? And it cannot be changed because we are made in the image of God, right? We have all the qualities of God. So those qualities will constantly keep on nudging us internally to go back to those qualities of abundance and love and bliss and so on, right? So nevertheless, there is some thought, probably even subconscious, that denies you creation though. If even though I have a desire to have abundance, I have a subconscious thought. Subconscious thoughts are what? Your belief system. Your belief system is embedded in your subconscious. So the belief system may be having thoughts, they are influencing your current thoughts that are lack oriented, that are not aligned with abundance. Even though consciously you want, consciously means your inner desire is to have abundance, but your subconscious is against it. So we are now going to start methodically working on this aspect of, now the question will be, how do I change my subconscious? And remember, it's not easy. Subconscious is your belief system. Belief system defines who you are today. And all the life experiences that you've had to date are created from your belief system. Belief system is kind of programming of your mind. That program runs your behavior. Your belief system actually drives your physical behavior. Your behavior, your interaction with your environment is driven from your subconscious, right? Consciously, for example, let's say you meet somebody. Consciously, you want to be very decent to that person, right? Very, courteous and respectful and so on. But from your subconscious, you have a program that is running in the background that has a definition of beauty. And this person is not beautiful as per your subconscious definition. The way you will interact with this person will be against your thought. You won't be able to show the courtesy that you would show to a person who is defined beautiful in your imagination, in your subconscious. So this person doesn't meet the criteria, so your behavior with this person will be definitely different, will be impacted even though you don't want to. That's how powerful our belief system is, right? Our belief system drives our actions and our interactions with the environment. And because of that action and interaction, we create experiences, right? So when you are meeting somebody who doesn't fit the criteria of your good, your interaction will be of unhappiness. Your actions will be not cohesive, and reactions will be what you will not like. Okay, so this is how we create the experience. I just created an experience of unhappiness unconsciously. My behavior came from subconscious, right? Even though I wanted to be polite, I wanted to be decent and everything, I could not do it. And that person's energy senses it. So their reaction to my actions will be that of a unhappy thing. So our subconscious is that powerful. But today, here what he said, today we will begin that process of reprogramming those subconscious thoughts and bring them or align them to God's qualities. We can do it though, right? So that's the process we are beginning. Okay.
Every day this week, read this lesson, read each sentence slowly and digest its meaning. During your quiet periods, after focusing on the heart and getting your higher self signal, say, "Dear name of higher self, my higher self, now reveal to me some of the errors in my thinking." Then sit quietly and let your higher self communicate. You will realize some thoughts that are creating havoc in your life. Write down those thoughts as they come to you. The lesson for this week is simply to identify those thoughts you need to correct. Notice in your activity throughout the day what your experiences are. Then, in your next quiet period, say, "Reveal to me, name of higher self, my higher self, the thoughts I have that gave me the experience of whatever you had." This inventory is very important. You need to know the nature of your own thoughts before you can correct them. Your higher self gives that to you.
All right. So what practice we have to now do is during the quiet period, after focusing on the heart, so our normal practice of centering ourselves, right, and getting signal from the higher self, the normal that we do, once we are connected with higher self, what are we going to ask the higher self? Please reveal to me some of the errors in my thinking, right? The difficult experiences that I'm having in my life are coming from my thoughts, and correcting those thoughts is what I am now going to be doing. So I am asking higher self, okay, tell me what is the mistake that I am making in my thoughts. Tell me about that, right? So the communication now here is, we are asking, reveal to me some of the errors. Where am I going wrong in my thinking, right? So, and then during your quiet period, be ready with a pen and paper always, right? Whenever you are receiving such of these thoughts, just prepare a list. Higher self is going to communicate to you. After asking the question, sit quietly and allow the flow of communication to come from your higher self. And you will be given one after the other, several thoughts will come, which you got to make note of, that this is where I am making error, right? Just make a list. Don't analyze, don't do anything with the thoughts yet, right? This is simply an exercise to prepare a list. Okay, and after the quiet period, what he's saying, during the day, watch for your experiences. What experiences you are going through during that day. It has nothing to do with anything else. Just notice what experiences, right? So let's say during the day you've had a difficult experience. So in the next quiet period, you have to ask what? My higher self, the thoughts that I have, tell me about those thoughts which gave me this experience. So today I have had a difficult experience. Now in the quiet period, I am going to ask my higher self, reveal to me those thoughts which created this experience in my life. So we are going back to the root of my experience, right? Where did this come from? That's what I am asking higher self for, right? So in the next quiet period, ask for it. And then you will be able to link the connection between your thought, which was error, and the created experience. These two are connected. That linkage you will begin to start seeing, right? So this is the exercise for this week. Okay, now for the bedtime. Yeah.
This week, when you lie quietly in bed before going to sleep, think of those people who have been in your life. For each one, realize that he or she has reacted to you, as you determined, by your thoughts. Take full credit or blame for your experience with them. Send to each love from your heart, feeling it go to them. Then forgive each, knowing what forgiveness really means.
Right. So this is where our last week's experience, last week's practice comes into picture, right? So at bedtime, we need to think of all the people that you normally interact with, okay? And all those people that you interact with, you would have experiences which are both good, comforting, beautiful experiences, as well as difficult ones, both. So what he's saying here is that use that practice of forgiveness to work with each one of these individuals and take full credit for the good experience, and also take full credit for the difficult experience as your responsibility. I am responsible for both the credit of good experience and the blame for the bad experience. Both come to me, because now I know that I only invited these experiences. And which one of my thoughts created those experiences? Those lists are being made during the daytime. Your practice during the day, you are making that list, right? And this week we have to simply create this list, because this is the list that we will be using in a couple of weeks. We will start using that list for now bringing change in life, right? So right now we don't analyze, we simply make the list that becomes our to-do list in future. Okay, so yes, thank you for patiently listening to us, and thank you, Anna, for a beautiful reading. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
It was really perfect word to word.
Thank you.
Yeah.
In the whole chapter, it doesn't say what God's thoughts are. It doesn't say who God is, but it says you see what He has created. You see what experiences it brings. You see what the qualities are. And when, in our understanding, we say we have a thought, I had a positive thought, I had a negative thought. But here is saying God thoughts has the quality of, infinite love, light, joy, peace, abundance. And then He created this big universe. And with your understanding of life from past experience, you feel miserable. You consider the illusion as your truth, and you recreate another experience based on that understanding of life. So you have still you have in this present moment, you have time, you have opportunity to realign your thought with God quality, and then create your life just how the God planned it for you. God didn't had what other than all the God qualities. And in his plan, he created everything, and he had this quality. He made us creator, he made us sovereign, he gave us all his qualities. But we as a creator, considering that illusion, the experiences of life where we had pain, we had disease, we saw death, and we created our own perception, and we created our own reality away from God's thought. And then we are now aligning back to his thought and aligning back our creation in his thought. That is the whole chapter.
Yes, we can if we want to. What Babaji is giving to us is a technique to be able to do it. Once again, he is not saying you do it. He's saying you can do it this way. Know that, right? It's still our choice. It is just like you want to, you know everything about life around you, but you still want to go and watch a movie which kind of sensationalize one aspect of our life. In the movies, that's what they show, right? They make it such that you get attracted to go and watch it, right? So it's the same thing that we are doing in our creation in life. We are trying to experience something different from what we have been at, the God's qualities. We want to shift from there and experience a movie, right? Which is illusion of this life. Now there's a question here: how did we develop belief system, right? So understand, it's a very known, well studied, well documented process that how does belief system get created. That is a child's belief system. When we are born, we are totally blank. There is no belief system in there. We come totally fresh, clean slate. And our environment around us, our parents to begin with, and then all the family members, and then when you start meeting with outsiders, the outsiders in your society, the school, the teachers, they all give their opinions and thoughts about things to you. And till the age of 7 years, our subconscious is open, and subconscious is the part of us which does not analyze. It simply receives and accepts information as it receives. So till the age of 7 years, whatever is being told to you is absorbed and accepted as truth. So your definitions of good and bad come from your family, your parents, your society, the religion, and whatever, wherever you are born. That embeds till the age of 7 years, entire belief system gets created. We call it as values, my moral values. That value system is what is belief system. And remember, that belief system controls our behavior. I act as a Hindu because I have been given that belief system in my childhood. If I was born, let's say, in a different religion, I would be behaving like that person of that religion because that value system is gone inside me. So our behaviors are governed by the belief system. And there's nothing wrong about it. Please don't take it as if, oh my God, what a crime. No. It's not that. Our belief system makes me shellfish. My belief system makes me shellfish. Otherwise, if I didn't want to be shellfish, for example, I would have been born in some other family, some other place, some other religion, some other country, to have that specific profile which that society can give me. So it was my choosing to be born in this society, this family, to these parents, that's so that I can achieve this set of characteristics, this profile, this belief system called shellfish, and then experience life as shellfish. Right? So belief system is, I consider it to be more like a checklist. Why did I choose to be shellfish? There is a background process, right? I choose to be Shailesh because I have certain planning to experience certain things in life. Once again, we go back to God's thought of experiencing life in that manner. That is the plan, God's plan for Shailesh. So that belief system was part of my plan. I wanted that belief system so that I can experience life in such and such manner. And within that, then I also have other things. I mean, belief system is not the only aspect. There is more to our existence. So belief system is what actually gives us the set of characteristics which are good and bad together. Because once again, what we are learning through illusion only, right? So in reality, there is nothing good and bad. We are only first defining good and bad, belief system, and then experiencing it. And then at some point in life, we say, well, okay, this wasn't bad. Why did I consider it bad in my life? Those questions will arise, right? Your inner wisdom is going to wake you up. And that awakening is what drives us towards the truth. Well, okay, I have different God qualities. I need to live like that. That awakening is what we are going through right now. In this chapter, we are learning now, okay, I have lived enough of that characteristic called Shailesh. Now I need to go out of illusion. It's not going back anywhere. I am now trying to come out of illusion. Okay, so I hope you understand what creates the belief system. Belief system is programming of the subconscious while it is open, and at the age of 7 it shuts down. After that, there is very minimal change to the value system unless it is deliberately reprogrammed. There are ways of reprogramming your subconscious. So that those are all scientific experiments created, and there are scientifically created processes also to reprogram your subconscious. And the most common technique for reprogramming subconscious is repetition. If you continuously, this is what Hitler did, right? Hitler created truth out of false statement by constantly repeating it. That's what many people do. So you can reprogram mass thinking by continuously reiterating the same thing, same message again and again. Your media will bombard you with one message constantly, and you will begin to believe it. That means it has gone to the subconscious belief system, right? This is how subconscious can be reprogrammed by repetition. That's a very common technique. There are many other ways of doing it. Okay. All right. Anything else, or should we go for meditation?
I think we should go for meditation.
Yeah.
Again, there's
All
a
right.
question related to belief system. Is bias also a kind of belief system? Yes, definitely. We
Yeah,
choose
yeah.
that.
Bias is part of the belief system. That's what bias is actually. Yeah.
So I hope everybody took a little break and we are back. We'll practice this chapter in this
Yeah.
meditation now. So just make yourself comfortable, relax, come to ease in your own space. Just sit comfortably with crossed legs, all 10 fingers into fingers, hands in your lap, and close your eyes gently, feeling the beauty of the lesson, the moment we enjoyed, seeing creation in front of us, seeing God and His beauty in all of us. Just in one chapter, in 1 hour, we saw the whole creation in our heart. In God's thought, where we are present. We are all present in His creation with all His qualities. We just need to look at that. There's nothing to worry. So take a slow, long, deep breath in and out. Very comfortably, gently, opening yourself again, making some more room for this new understanding, the clarity, the knowledge that we have received. We are integrating, harmonizing each and every cell in our body with the knowledge we have just received. It was very much part of us, but was forgotten. Now, we have dusted all those that is none of us. And we can still choose to realign, to be with God, with His qualities, to have thought like God's thought. Another slow, long, deep breath in and out. A couple more to happily receive. To see the world, how it is created. There was only God thought, and that thought was nothing but a thing with its qualities. There was no karma siddhant, no cause and no punishment, no guilt, no shame. Everything was expression of God's true nature. Now relax. Let your breath become spontaneous, at ease, and watch them going in and out. Feeling every breath in our heart space. Feel inhalation, the soothing breath touching the heart center. Maybe a cool sensation there, a vibration. And exhale. Breath after breath. Just become more of you, your true qualities. Our God qualities. Let us become more of us, who we truly are, by reaffirming loudly, gently, silently within. I am made in the image of God. Say it again. I am made in the image of God, and I have all the qualities of God. Bring your feelings to it. Feel it deeply. We have been hungry for God. We have been seeking Him by different names, by different seekings, by different desires. Knowingly, unknowingly. But God never left us. We forgot Him because we started seeing through our mind. We forgot about our divine space, the sacred space, the heart space, where we are all one. One in God's thought with His qualities. Part of the creation, part of universe. Experiencing our wholeness in totality, all the God qualities. When you feel too much of this, just breathe deep whenever you feel the heart is opening more than you could receive, than you could feel. Just breathe more. Allow yourself to be at ease with this unboundedness nature, the quality of God. As we claim that we are made in the image of God, and all the God qualities are ours. We feel it, we truly feel it. God is love, so I am love. God is light, I am light. God is joy, bliss, and peace. I am joy, I am peace, I am bliss. With every breath, just incorporate the feeling of these lines. Say it aloud or silently and enjoy. Enjoy your own existence in this own body. God is truth. I am truth. God, truth has permanence, and I live that permanence in me. God is sovereign. I am sovereign. I got the free will from God when He created us. And I give the free will in my creation to all the characters who I invite to play role. God's a creator. I am a creator. God created this whole universe in His thought. I create my life with my thought, is my expression of me being me, my true nature. And being a creator is the divinity we all have. In this world we create with our thoughts, with our free wills. That is our divinity. Feeling less or miserable is just an illusion. Just reaffirm this and accept that yes, God is perfection and I am His perfection. I am in His thought. I am in His qualities. And I open myself more to enjoy this life more with all that God has given to me. God is abundance and I am abundance. God is infinite energy. I am infinite energy. Never feel tired. I am in my joy. I am in my peace. I am in my love. And I keep creating, knowingly or unknowingly. I just love who am I. Feel the shift in the heart space. Feel that love, that joy, that expansion, that vibration, that cooling sensation. That's God's love. That's God's thought. That's the vibration. Or the blueprint of our own existence. Feel it more. Feel as you are breathing from your heart space in and out. And it is piercing something very deep, opening more and more every time we do this. Now let us ask for a signal from our higher self. My beautiful higher self, take name. Please give me your signal now. Thank for the signal if you have received it. Or ask one more time. Now ask your higher self, my beautiful higher self, please give me some of the errors in my thinking. Please reveal to me. Please give me the thoughts. Those are not aligned with God's thought. Observe all that is going on, all your thoughts, maybe vision, maybe people coming in your mind, maybe any event. Just observe. Observe for the thoughts. Those are error in my thinking. Do not get attached emotionally with your thoughts. Just see whatever thoughts are coming, and you may gently open your eyes and note it down what those thoughts are popping, bubbling up. Have that intent that yes, I want to know my thoughts. I know my thoughts created my reality. In your quiet period, just make this as one set of practice to just jot down all the thoughts you might be receiving from your higher self. in another quiet period to the next part. Now ask your higher self. Just say, my beautiful higher self. Take name. Tell me the thoughts that has given me this difficult experience. You may refer to your own problems in current time or in the past, experience of disease, humiliation, loss, let all the thoughts come. Let all the people come in your mind. Let all your past be open in this present moment and just see it genuinely. It's a fun game. Stay in your heart space. Keep your awareness there and observe whatever is happening. We usually often think on something. We get a topic and then we think. And here the topic is me, my life, my experiences. What are my thoughts? If you are feeling sad, hurt for any event, you are seeing any person bothering you, you may want to send your thought of forgiveness to that person, to that event. You may say within, I send you love from my heart. Take name. And I forgive you, knowing it is impossible for you to infringe on my perfection. For each one of those persons, send love, send forgiveness, and claim your own perfection. Let us thank our higher self for its beautiful guidance and love. Let us thank Babaji for this beautiful practice, this chapter, and its understanding. Thank you, Babaji, and lots of love to you. Let us send love to all the thought form around us. And to each and every object in the room we are sitting in. And let this love expand to all the people, everything, entire home, all the corners, from supply water to the drainage, from people to vehicle. Let the whole house glow as a sun with love and light. And let it lit up all the time to radiate love and light wherever we are. Let's keep adding our love to it and let it radiate like a tiny star, shining its light. The new morning, it's a new evening, And we are returning back to this body with a new me. Just seeing these thoughts are so cleansing. It is reviving. So come back, feel the body, and just one more time, feel your aura and close your aura to all except your higher self. Or that say within, I close my aura to all except my higher self. Enjoy this feeling of being love, joy, peace, gratitude, abundance, infinite energy, the creator, your sovereignty, your divinity. Every moment, all my thoughts are aligned with God's thought. And I am aligned to His qualities. Last 30 seconds. Take a slow, long, deep breath in and out. Feel this experience. And we are all ready to come back. Slowly, gently open both your palms and put it over your closed eyes for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Welcome, welcome back. Thank you so much for this divine experience, for your patience, for your time. And these are all counted for us. As many times we'll read this chapter, we will connect what we have learned before, what we are learning here, and the truth that we live every day. It's going to make us a total different person, making more responsible, but at the same time, making us realize our own powers, our own divinity. And then we come at ease more and more the more we practice. So thank you. Thank you so much. Shailesh, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. So, let me give you all some homework. Something to ponder, something to think about, right? Maybe in your notes you want to write down what is the truth. What did we learn? What is the truth? Right? And what is the illusion? This has become so much clearer to me today. While explaining to all of you, it becomes even clearer, more clear to me. I'm so happy about that. As we, the more we read, the more we learn about these things and the depth of everything. So today, I'm really very happy about this learning today. The truth, the illusion, and both are so clear to me. So maybe when you sit down to write your own understanding, it will become even more clear to all of you. So
This
please
whole
do
chapter
that.
is like that. Like opening layers and layers. Because
Yes,
when you
yes,
read the word, you feel jumbled. But when you leave the word and you take the whole paragraph, you will understand what it is.
yes. And this clarifies to me Even though I am created in the image of God, I have all the qualities of God, and I am still experiencing life which is not aligned with the qualities of God. See, that part has become so much more clear to me now. It's amazing. So beautiful. So do your own thinking about it, your own understanding, and then we can, during the week, we can answer questions. You can ask questions. Okay, when I started thinking like this, well, why is it so and so and so, right? So those whys we will try to figure out together. So if we don't get any thoughts, what to do? So Nandini is asking, if we don't get any thoughts, what to do? If you don't get any thoughts, you are back in God qualities. Don't don't do anything. If there is no thought, do nothing. Be in that state of bliss.
But if you be a little light to yourself, with yourself, you will get a few. Just be gentle. No? Like
Yeah.
sometimes,
Nandini always had, in the past, she always said she doesn't get thought. And that's a beautiful thing. If
yeah.
you don't get thought, just remain thoughtless. You are already a yogi, right?
But for others, like this is
Yeah, yeah.
how it is.
We,
Yeah.
I am not a thoughtless person. I get a lot of thoughts. And I acknowledge and I accept, yes, I'm living in the illusion. I'm not living perfectly in God quality. I just want to be Shailesh. I don't want to be God.
Jyotiji is in bliss today. Thank you so much, Jyotiji. It's been long discussion. 2 weeks we have been confronting that, this thought that we invited these people in our life, creating these havoc. And today in this chapter, we are just cleansing, removing all that karma concept, and then taking the responsibility that, okay, whatever was done was my own creation because I cannot experience everything in one lifetime. I have to come back. I have to come back and then experience life, like experience God quality, what is missing, what is not missing, in totality, all the experiences.
Good. Okay, so if there is any immediate questions, we can take those now, or otherwise we can meet tomorrow for the next session one more time. Tomorrow we will do the practice, a little more elaborate practice probably. We'll have more time for meditation tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
Change our thoughts? No. Just know our thoughts. But knowing is only itself very much cleansing. That's what I said at the end. But just openly enjoy your thought. If you feel like you're afraid of getting negative thought, just write down all the thoughts. Maybe thought of cooking, cleansing, taking care of chores, and then, just in those thoughts, you will see one coming like this. Okay. So they hide themselves from us because we are too much into like, oh, correcting, correcting, correcting. So
yeah,
that,
in this week is only exploration of ourself, knowing ourselves, right? We are trying to know, why am I Shailesh, right? Why am I like this? And we are asking, well, okay, what are the thoughts that are giving me such and such experience? Or what is wrong with my thinking? Right? And when we say wrong, that means wrong in the sense, not the wrong we think of. What is not aligned with my intrinsic qualities? That means the qualities of God. So, what is that thinking that takes me away from qualities of God? That's what we are going to list down. Just explore. List down, list down, list down. Actually, it will give you, well, okay, how am I different from God? What version of God am I? Human number, one of those 8 billion, and the version such and such of that 8 billionth person, right? So I am a human, H dot, then there is a number, whichever number of that out of the 8 billion, then dot, which version of this person
Which
am I?
lifetime, right? After so many lifetime, 100,000, whatever, whatnot.
Yes, yes.
And even
So,
there are kalpas. If you take Hindu calendar, there are already 4 vilay has happened already.
yes.
New
So
Sri.
we are constantly evolving. Remember, this how I imagine this whole cons conception of all this universe thing. How I imagine it is that there are versions of the mind that have been created because God's thought is already created, right? That creation has created so many minds, and each mind basically it keeps on picking up that mind one at a time to experience that particular mind, right? And that mind is a constantly evolving thing as well. So once that mind is manifested as a person, that mind is going through experiences and growing, learning, right? It's developing. And once this chapter is closed, that mind is available for someone else to pick up from there and go further, right? So Shailesh version 1, Shailesh version 2, version 3, and like that, so many thousand versions are over. And with each version, there is a new name that is associated. Every time it won't be Shailesh. So that mind, whoever picks it up, it's think of like in your shop window, there are mannequins, right? So mannequin is neither male female. You give it the hair of a female and give it a female dress, it becomes a female model, right? Like that, we are all that mannequin who picks up a mind and then lives through that role, the illusion of that role, right? That's the illusion part. So we are living like that. Such a beautiful understanding. Today I got this even further clarity. That mannequin is that God who is experiencing through each mind. It picks up a mind. Okay, let me experience this set of characteristics. That's the mind.
And he
Okay,
has that
and
capability to integrate all that mind and create a universal mind, what we call. Then everything is reflected back upon, thrown us. Okay, you did or not did, or you experienced this as being part of this herd.
that universal mind is actually the superset, right? Each mind is a subset of that universal mind only, and
We
it
take and
is
also we give.
expanding, yeah, continuously growing, right? Each subset is growing, so the totality is growing. That's why we call it as an expanding universe. The global population has gone from 1 billion to 8 billion, right? How much expansion is happening? So because each mind is also creating more minds. That's why this growth is happening. We are creators, right? Each of us are creators. We are creating. Creation is constantly expanding and exploding. So, yeah, good. Okay, Rinkuji is so you got your answers right. Getting those people in my thoughts with whom I have grudges in my life. Yes, that you are still hanging on to it and you want to experience, continue. Just do it. As long
And
as it
Babaji,
gives you happiness, it is giving you happiness in some way. Trust me. Otherwise, you would not hang on to it. It is giving
Babaji,
you. It is actually satisfying your ego somewhere. Till such time it is satisfying your ego, you will hang on to it. And once that is done, you will automatically drop them.
but
Right?
Babaji is very gentle. He is giving this chapter to practice that forgiveness. So continue your practice, and with time, it will go away. There's no other way.
Babaji is not forcing us on doing anything. He's only showing us the way. He's only telling us, okay, these are the techniques that you could practice if you want to, and bring about a change if you want to. Once again, free will is still with us. Nobody is forcing anything. But yeah, he's showing, okay, these are the steps. Maybe you want to try this and see if you want it. So enjoy those people, the difficult people in your life as long as you want. You can keep hang on to the grudges. Maybe those, like some people like bitter taste, right? You want to eat Karela, okay, eat, fine, nothing wrong. If that's the taste you enjoy, because you haven't caught on to them just like that. There is definitely a purpose in your own scheme of things. So hang on. But know that you are doing it from your own willingness. Knowing that is important. That is what is enlightenment. Knowing that I am hanging on to these people, fine. I have some purpose here. Let me go through the experience that will reveal the purpose to me. Don't consider it to be bad, right? It's part of your experience. Experience is just the experience. We define it good, bad, all that. Experience is experience.
Okay, Grace ji has a question. I think in Hindi session you explained this and she wants to know it. Maybe she's reminding that
What question?
we take action to create our reality, and then what action God and they what action does God take to create us?
God has a thought. God, we think in terms of time, so we can say God had a thought and this creation happened. Okay, and it all got created. All past, present, future of this existence is already in creation, created. Okay, so it was just a thought, God's thought, and in that thought I existed as Shailesh. His thought included a character called Shailesh, who will have hair like this, who will have teeth like that, who will have face like this, and who will be talking like this. All that was part of that characteristics. And those characteristics, in our way of thinking, we say, well, because we think in terms of time, we think that things are fixed in time. But God's thought is a constantly evolving thought. It is constantly creating. To understand creation, we will have to think that way. It's a continuously evolving thing. It's a constantly expanding universe, right? So that thought is not a dead thought. It's a living thought. It is constantly evolving.
It's just like you will see a baby growing in mother's womb, right? It doesn't happen in one day. It takes 9 months. Even the earth existence, what we see today, it is the outcome of that billion year. It means that thought takes the form of matter. It just, in our human terms, it just takes time, right? But everything starts with a thought. And here we see where we are right now. We don't remember what happened yesterday. We cannot remember all that happened when God thought happened. And this paragraph that I pasted here, right? So how Krishna started creating his life. He didn't have to manipulate things. He was just being in his state. Things were done through him. That is the key here. So we want to be love. We want to, when we align totally in that God quality, everything becomes one with nature. We become one with nature. And then things start creating. Everything comes to fulfill all our desire. Desires are in our thought. And then we start seeing things happening around us.
Sandhya ji has sent a direct question to me. Sorry I missed it, Sandhya ji. Thinking with my mind will be restricted to my illusory world. Thinking will happen only in the mind. Outside the mind, there is no thinking. That's why this mind is available to us to bring a set of thoughts. a particular way, configuration you can call it, right? Software version Windows 11, that way. So thinking with my mind will be restricted to my illusory world. Yes, absolutely right. Perfect. And thoughts, when I am in the love vibration, will be coming from consciousness. Thoughts are still in the mind. When you are living in that vibration of love, you are experiencing the mind differently. Your perspective has changed now, right? At the moment, so there are two ways of experiencing the mind. One is by being inside the mind, and then that means you are 100% just the mind. And experiencing from outside the mind, that means you are more than the mind. Mind is part of you,
That
right?
is heart and mind, you're saying.
Yes, heart is your totality, and inside your heart there is a thing called mind. Heart, we call it heart because there is no other way of explaining it, right? It's just a terminology. But our existence outside the mind is what we call as heart. So and we all know that we exist outside the mind for sure, right? So witness or experiencing the mind from within the mind, as most of us do, and experiencing the mind from outside the mind are two different experiences, right? The more we dwell on it, actually, it's such a complex thing. So to put it in words is very difficult. But the thing we call as experience is also in the mind. So when I experience the mind from outside the mind, that experience is also stored in the mind only. Outside the mind, there is nothing called experience. Let me just unmute you, Sandhya ji, and so you can actually interact if you want. Yeah, you can interact if you want. This,
Can you hear me? But
yes, yeah.
okay, so basically, when you are thinking from, or rather experiencing from outside the mind, aren't we in God's space as far as our mind is concerned? So that's what I call the conscious thought, or the thought when I'm in the truth
Yes,
space.
yes, yeah.
That-
Yeah,
okay.
don't worry about the word. I have understood. Words are difficult to, yeah. But yes, you are right. Absolutely. So think of it like consciousness. When consciousness is experiencing the mind, that experience is happening in the mind only, from a different perspective though. Because mind is, you can think of it more like your hard drive on a computer where all your experiences are stored. So wherever that experience is created will be stored only in the mind. Why? Because it has to be carried forward as growth of the mind. So whenever the next resident in that mind comes, they take it from where we left. So the mind that Shailesh possesses right now, when Shailesh leaves this body, that mind will be available for someone to pick up wherever I leave it. Me, the consciousness,
Further
can
research
actually
will happen. Further research will happen. Research is only addition to what is existing, right? So keep adding to the experiences after exploring to till some point. And
yeah,
and today, yeah. Mm. Yes, Shailesh.
we as consciousness, each one of us is consciousness that picks up a mind and becomes that. So that consciousness, when it returns back, it becomes the consciousness again, right? And then it decides, okay, at some point, one part of that consciousness decides, okay, let me pick up wherever that last time I left as Shailesh. And then we'll pick up from there and continue. They are, they are just the one consciousness, right? Experiencing in different versions. So for the expansion, for our experiences to develop or grow, we have to change the body. right? Because as Shailesh, in the body of Shailesh, whatever experiences that I really wanted are over now. Now I have to have a newer one. With this intelligence that I have developed now, I want to experience differently, next level. So for that, I need a newer model of the vehicle, newer model of Shailesh, the body, right? And that body will be called whatever. So I enter that one and then experience it from that level, from that perspective. So then when I start, then first I will go inside that and become that and experience as it is, right? And then I grow, and then I say, okay, I am more than this. And then I come out and see, okay, this is what I was. So perspectives will develop as we grow. This,
May I
that's
say
why,
something?
yeah, sure. Yeah.
I was just looking at it in a very simplistic view. I was looking at it the minute I see, in principle, whenever I'm thinking from the mind, from my mind, it's basically I'm what I call the ego space.
Hmm. Yes, that's right.
Every time I'm in the ego space, it is my world in the sense I have created my world,
Hmm.
and
Yes,
your world will be different from my world. They may
yes,
or may not interact because the people
yes,
you and I live in
yeah,
are different worlds. Okay, that I'm
yes,
making it sound
yeah,
very weird, but I think
yeah,
so.
yeah,
Basically, if there are 7 billion people, there are 7 billion worlds on our world or
yes,
on our Earth.
yes,
So now, what I'm just looking at it as whatever I create when I'm in my ego space versus when I'm in my love space or
mm-hmm.
the
Yeah,
God
yeah,
space, let me call it.
uh,
That, those are the basic differences. That will
yes,
make life much more easier for me, away from the understanding
absolutely.
point of
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
view.
and you got it
Preeti,
right. Yeah,
okay,
you
since
got it
Preeti
right.
ji
Yeah,
talked about Krishna, I looked at it as Krishna and Shakuni concept.
yeah,
So half the times we are in the Shakuni world,
mm.
we are
Yeah,
always playing politics one way or the other. The we is a
yes,
general we
yeah, yeah,
versus the Krishna world.
mm-hmm. Yes, correct.
So okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
But the life has to be experienced as it is. In like, first we experience the mind, and then we see, okay, what I have created in this ego space. That ego in a person for any particular thing is different. Now we express things differently, basically. But when we are in love, in the God space, we express love in all ways, which, the feelings are same. The expression could be varied, but the feeling of love is same. The feeling of joy is experienced same, like God does, right? And in ego self, we are little bitter, or maybe little more bitter, or we are little angry, or we are little more angry, and we express it differently, and we create pain. So after having that miserable experience, we realize that this is putting me at dis-ease. I'm not at ease with this. I want to go back to my true nature. And in that state, when there we are totally aligned, there is no more of thinking to create. Then there is just expression to be. So it's very connected what you are talking and before what we talked.
yeah. It is describing the truth again, right? What is the truth we learned today? The truth is that when we are totally aligned with God's qualities, we become God. Right? We create like God.
Mm.
Right? That's the truth we have learned today. Okay. Now, every one of us has got, we have changed the or shifted from God's qualities somewhat in some way, so we become a different creation, right? And 7 billion such combinations are existing, or 8 billion today on earth, right? And where are they? They are in illusion. Illusion means what? Mind, right? That's where they are. The physical world is still the same. This planet, this earth, this universe, this cosmos is still the same. But the way each one of us, each variant from God's qualities, experiences it is the
Different.
illusion in the mind. It's
Like
created
for
in
a
the mind.
Buddha, for a
Yeah,
Jesus, and for
yeah,
then each one of us like experiencing
yeah.
in the journey.
Yeah, we each one of us has been given an area to play with. In your area, you create whatever, and that's in the mind only. We are creating without, in some way, we do impact the reality as well, right? The physical creation, and that is because of the mass consciousness together, right? That's when you have earthquakes, shifting of the plates of the earth, right? Tsunami, those big events, they are because of mass consciousness. That is again a creation. Think of, I mean, like it's all, we are doing it. We together as consciousness are bringing changes to the physicality as well. That's also manifest only, right? So the mind, but our individual worlds, my version is with me in my mind. Okay. So
Thank you.
yeah, thank you. Once again, warning to all of you, what I am saying is my version. You can
Definitely.
have your version as
And
well.
we will
Yeah.
all
So
experience, understand this chapter in the same way, like our own
in
way, like
our
not
own way, yes. Yeah.
what our perception of life is, what soul plan understanding is, why we take life, and everything will be like a puzzle. Just sit and to integrate it all together. We all know it truly in the
Yeah.
heart. That like what Sandhya is saying, that in the God space I know everything. Everything is one. But in mind
Yeah.
space, I play a different role, and even everybody plays a different role. And the money sansar, right? So our world is our mind, and then we see different world because in my reality, I go out and see a beggar, or in my reality, I go out and see a palace, or I live in a palace. Our experiences will be different. Realizing this fact today, that when we were reading, that when God says, "I gave you my qualities." I created you, creator, in my image. I did everything that I could do, and I make you a sovereign, also made you part of the creation. And then I don't know how you created all this, what you have created today. From where you got the fear, from where you got all this illusion. So it was like he's talking to me directly that what could I have done differently that you couldn't have had these experience, what you call so-called miserable experiences. What could I have done differently? He's saying. I had a
No,
conversation
in
with God
yeah,
today.
okay.
Like,
But he has given us all possibilities. He's given us. They exist.
he never had
Right?
those. Like, it says the God thought doesn't have. He cannot give you those what he doesn't have, right? So he didn't had the misery. He didn't had the fear. He didn't had the losses. But it was our perception, the beautiful mind we have. It created all the story.
Yes.
And that takes to my that experience sharing, that first time when I came to this earth, I was enjoying the beauty, but I saw a flower one day, next day the flower is gone, and then I see, oh my god, who ate my creation, who ate this flower? I made it with so much love, and then started seeing all the pains around all around us. The lion eating goat and the goat eating this and that, so the power playing game. And in that power of, we learned fear, we saw death, we saw losses, and then that human, in that human spacesuit, that limitation, we forgot that we exist beyond this body. After that we realized, and that then we promise we'll come back and we'll fix it again, but then there were challenges bigger than the first time, and then
Yes.
the iteration goes on.
Good. Yeah, let Grace ji unmute.
हाँ हाँ, शैलेश जी सच में सेशंस बड़े ही प्यारे चल रहे हैं, बड़े ही प्यारे। मजा आ रहा है एवरी डे। ऐसा लग रहा है कि जैसे कि कितना कुछ मिस था पहले लाइफ में। इतने टाइम मतलब मेडिटेशन करने के बाद भी ऐसा लग रहा है कि कुछ जाना ही नहीं था, जितना कुछ अब जान रहे हैं। हाँ, मैं आपसे यही कह रही थी ना, जैसे अभी आपने एक्सप्लेन किया कि जैसे हम लोग कुछ क्रिएट करते हैं तो हमें उसके लिए एक्शन लेना पड़ता है। तो जब गॉड ने हमें क्रिएट किया तो गॉड ने कोई एक्शन नहीं लिया, बस जस्ट थॉट से क्रिएशन हो गई।
हाँ, yes. हम लोग, let me say this in English for everybody. right? So
Oh, okay.
when God's thought created everything. That means what we are trying to say is God had a thought in which this entire cosmos got created. Okay, what was the action part? I have no idea, because I am still in the thought only. Right? But my thoughts are creating. I am thinking I am creating, but I am just having thoughts. The thoughts are driving everything else to manifest, in which I play a part as well, and everything else in the universe plays a part. Say,
Because
for example, think about it. Like, just take an example. Say, for example, I want a BMW car. Okay, I am not manufacturing BMW. Okay, so what? I just want a BMW. So I have this thought, and my inner alignment actually aligns with that thought of experiencing a BMW car. Okay, now, in how many ways can that experience happen? One thing could be a friend of mine brings his car, he's got a BMW, he says, let's go for a ride. Okay, my thought created an experience of driving in a BMW. The other possible, there are so many other such combinations possible, right? Or somebody suddenly gives his car to me, well, I don't need it anymore, take it. Anything like that. It's, innumerable possibilities exist, right? Depends on my thoughts at that moment, other thoughts, in what fashion will this manifest, right?
yes.
And
So great.
all these combinations and permutations are inside the God's thought. Funny thing is that all these possibilities, like infinite possibilities, exist inside the God's thought only.
It's just like mirror broken into small pieces, and then every mirror is like reflecting, what is around. And then that's what we are
The
seeing.
Yeah, because
yeah.
I was wrong in saying when I was saying that like I'm creating my reality, but basically because if I'm deciding to cook something, maybe before I even cook, someone else brings it to me.
Hmm.
But with your
So
thought only.
with
When you
my thought,
think,
Exactly.
yeah,
uh,
yeah, yeah,
so when I said Krishna, you know why I said immediately in that moment, and it was even Shailesh was sharing that the universe is getting created. I see his Vishwa Swarupa, where the one side the creation is happening, one side everything is dying, right? He cannot show the mind, but he's showing
yeah,
that there is a people creating their reality, they are living their life, all the ages, all the joy, enjoyment, experiences, and then it is going back and it's going in a circle.
yes,
It didn't show anybody creating mountains, creating, the space, or, it's like expansion
yes,
of that energy with over time, and let it happen. Let it take what it wants to take. Let it settle down. Let the settle. These energies might be higher in this space, or maybe like this, it wants to take form. The water, even we take example, like how it evaporates and goes into the cycle.
yeah. It's
Let me
it's
give.
it's it's
Yeah.
like different manifestations of the same energy.
Okay. So yeah, if you think about it, let me give you more food for thought. Do you create your thought?
Not always.
पकड़ लिया. So
Yeah.
think about it. Thought is not created. Thought creates. Go,
Yes, I agree.
take some time to digest this thing, right? Creation happens. Slowly you will
Let me
begin
write
to
it down.
understand. Slowly you will begin to go deeper and understand that creation happens because thoughts happen. Very important thing.
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, yeah, one more
Yeah.
question.
Hmm.
Remember, you said that when we leave our body, then our mind is left too. And then when we come back again, we pick up the same mind. So is that mind portion, mind energy is attached to the soul that comes back again with the same mind?
From mental point of view, yes. From mind's perspective, it is available to the consciousness. Consciousness can decide to choose a different one. If you
This
remember,
is
I
a very
talked
new
about
concept. What?
DVDs once earlier in one of the sessions, right? There are DVDs available in a library. You pick up what you want to enjoy today, like a movie, right? When
But our
you
mind, but when we leave our body, and the mind is gone too, but that mind stores our experiences, impressions of this life.
Yes, yes,
It's
that's the
energy,
link,
right?
right? It's
Yeah.
link.
Yeah.
It's the link that carries forward the learnings as growth, right? That those learnings
Yes.
are carried through. They are deposited in a bank account, and
Yeah.
somebody who can come and own that bank account.
Yeah. And that somebody would be the same
Yeah,
soul who had this, who
could
had the same mind.
could be, not would be, could be.
Oh, okay.
Not same mind. Who
Because
is
yeah,
ready to take
yeah,
that?
in the
Like
in the mind you are thinking, my mind, my body. Outside
Yes.
the mind, it's not my mind or my body. It is a
But
mind
in the
and a body.
but in the next life will not go through with my own same mind so that I can progress more.
This is the thinking of the mind. Because you are attached to your mind also. I want to grow. I, that ego, inside the mind.
Okay.
Right?
So how would
Outside the mind, all the minds are equally lovable. They are available to me. They are part of the existence. They are available to me and I can choose.
how would I bring my past life impressions in my current life?
The character who enters your mind will experience it.
mind has everything, right? And this body is
The
just five elements. It's just like matter, nothing else. Nothing happens. Just like it's solid flesh and blood. But all your
Yeah.
experiences are in the energy form stored in the mind, which is a different space suit. This human is a space suit, and then there's astral body, which is another space suit that the soul or the consciousness takes in whenever you want. You want this body, physical, male, female, or you want this mind, this lifetime, being a sage or a killer or somebody, researcher.
Yes.
it's think of it like this. Just the easier way to understand is today you are sitting at home, you are in a certain mood, and now you want to watch a movie. You've got a library of DVDs available. Depending on your mood, you want to pick up something like which will give you entertainment, right? You pick up one of those DVDs and start that thing, and then you say, well, no, I don't like it. This is not the one I want. Or maybe you read on the cover about the story, the characters in there, and okay, this is the hero, I don't like this hero, I want the other one. So ultimately you pick up one DVD that interests you. Well, okay, yeah, this is the character, that's very good, I want to experience this now. You put the DVD in the player and watch it on the TV and actually experience that character. Your experience is real, even though you know that the whole thing is an illusion. It's only in the TV. But
Mm-hmm.
your experience is real. That's what this is. So that DVD is the mind. So when you are outside the mind, disconnected from a mind, you can choose. Not necessarily continuity of the one that you left. Actually, you may want a different one because you have had enough of that. You may want a different one. All kinds of possibilities exist. There, we do not get attached. Attachment is inside the mind. I and my, right? That's the learning we are doing in the mind. This is what we are learning.
How, like when people go for past life regressions, how are they able to see their past lives?
They are
What?
seeing the past, okay. They are seeing the past life of that character,
It's
not
in the
their
mind.
past
Where
life.
else? Where else you will
So,
see it?
It's in
uh,
the mind, right? That's what I'm saying. That mind.
so in the mind, inside the mind, all its prior stories are stored, right?
Yes.
So in my mind right now, previous birth, whoever had taken that previously this mind, the previous renter of this property called Shailesh's mind,
Yes.
who could be anybody. You may have actually acquired that one and experienced something. I can go back and check, okay, what did this other person experience?
Okay, let me
Yes.
add
It's
here
But
this version of DVD story. It is the latest version of understanding our, soul plan, and other than that, whatever. I think we all have a different understanding of choosing life, coming to life, and then playing the role. But this DVD one, it was we read it in one of the books, and Shailesh ji was very much, he was aligning to those thoughts, and he realized that, oh, actually this is how I see life. I agree to this concept. So this is not known to everybody.
yeah. So
yeah. No,
what
because
I'm sharing is my experience, my understanding. Okay, so take it with a pinch of salt. You don't. This is not for everybody to consume. It's just what I
If you like, if you
understand.
agree,
Yeah,
if you resonate,
yeah.
yeah.
If yeah, it may or may not resonate with you. So,
yeah,
but
you know what's
I encourage each one of you to develop your own understanding. Right?
Initially,
That
I was frowned with this understanding, but then over a period of time, I started accepting it. The more I expanded my understanding of life and all the readings that I was doing, so
yeah,
it
Shailesh,
may
I
take
think
like a new thing.
yeah, I think someday you need to take that session about the mind and the causal body and all that. And then I think these concepts will be more clear. I'm really looking forward to it
you may
whenever.
You
actually
have
by
the
the
God plans in your plate. But
think
Shailesh is saying, I want to be Shailesh God. You know?
no, think about it. Give some time to this whole thing. Let Babaji's teachings carry us
Okay.
through to week number 24. Maybe you don't have need to go into this kind of philosophy altogether, right? Because now you will see the mind from outside the mind. Through these are the practices that are teaching us or showing us the techniques to see the mind from outside, right? So when you begin to see the mind from outside, you may have a different perspective altogether, unique to yourself also.
Yeah, because I was
Right?
thinking like in the next life I may have a different body like a boy, girl, or whoever. But how come I have the same same mind which has the so that I can continue my journey where I left off in the previous part. So that energy which is called mind, which has all the impression, where does it get stuck that I'm able to bring it with me in the next birth?
It is complicated because in our concept of the mind, body, soul, there is also concept of chitta. Hmm. So then this thing get complicated because when we say
Third part.
mind, we understand it as conscious, subconscious. Actually, subconscious is chitta. If you want to understand in English, Hindi, you consider subconscious has recording of everything that we have seen ever since the beginning of time.
And
So
also the
it's all our
future. Also the
yes,
future.
because God planning is all done. He is done from his end. So he planned everything will be in his qualities. Everything will be in his sovereignty. Everything will be like that. His planning is done. But he gave us free will. Go enjoy, play. I know wherever you go after playing, you will be tired. You'll come home. He knows that. So he's still in that bliss. He's not worried like we do when our child goes out.
Okay.
It is something like God has given us the freedom to imagine. Imagine whatever you want. In your imagination, you can do whatever you want, right? And you live through that imagination, remember?
Yeah.
You live through. So that's how our life experience is like.
It
And
is just
in
like this.
in the mind, we tend to get attached when, okay, I have done so much. I have done so much in this life
It's
that I
I.
want to
Yeah.
continue.
Mhm.
I want to continue from there. This I part of us, once you are outside the mind, will vanish. There won't be an I, right? Then you won't be attached to this mind only.
It's
Okay.
experience that matters, right? That ego is
Yeah.
only this body, like I did it, and that's why I said, like, okay, things are done through us. when we become our higher self, we really don't have put much effort in doing things. We see all of a sudden things start happening around us. Like you said, somebody is giving me food that I wanted to eat. So things start happening, but just we have to be open. Like it says, "प्रकृति में जो कुछ भी है, it will come to give you everything, all that you need, all that you desire will be given to you." So just be in that state, be in that bliss, joy, and love. Be that expanded self, and then you see the life. You experiment. So one more thing
Very
for
nice.
everybody. Whoever is saying like I just got this thought that I don't get thought when I ask my higher self to give me thoughts. We have the whole day to look our thoughts also. That is very much prominent because those thoughts are coming from conscious mind. And if we can't perceive thought, we start observing our words. If I say a word that is disrespecting myself or disrespecting others, then I have a feeling of hurt inside me for something.
Just, yeah. Can you ask one more question?
Okay, I need to go. Shailesh please take care.
Sure, sure,
Thank you
sure.
so
Yeah.
much.
Okay.
I'm already
Yeah.
late.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Shalishi, I was asking like we ask our her self our name, right?
Mm.
Instead of asking our her self our name, can we not give the name by ourselves?
If it works for you, that's okay. Yeah. But how will you
Okay.
recognize that it's the higher self? If that name you have given, you can just call by that name. Anybody can answer that call.
But I resonate and I know and I feel my higher self. It's just that I'm
Then,
only giving the
yeah,
name.
yeah, that's okay. Then that's okay. As long as you have some way of recognizing your higher self, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. No worries. Thank you. Good. Okay, so it's close to 3 hours once again. So let's close the session for today, and we'll get together again tomorrow. Please spend some time with the chapter, read it slowly, sentence by sentence, or maybe go through today's recording of the reading. That if that is helpful, try doing that. Go deeper into the understanding of this chapter. Okay, thank you so much. And thank you so much, Anna. You did a beautiful reading. Love your reading. Thank you. Thank you,